Yeah, that would.
Debate, sit here, debate. Hello.
I thought you guys weren't coming in the end. You were late to your own protest.
Don't be sarcastic. Let's see.
I'm not being serious. You're actually late.
Want to debate? Let's
You're actually late to your own protest. Have you got nothing better to do?
Hey, no argument.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Somebody who's protesting is asking me if I got nothing better to do. Somebody came here to protest against Ukraine. Sorry, what? I'm not stopping you. Am I doing something? We are promoting democratic voice. We are talking.
Let's debate.
Let's debate. Excellent. So, could you explain it to me? How are you going to stop a war by stopping help to the victim of that war? Hello there. How are you? I'm good. Very good. You guys are late though. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Although you should have done better to not show up at all. That would have been even better if you never showed up here.
Listen.
Because this is a ridiculous claim to stop the war by stopping to providing the provisions of weapons for Ukraine. Ukraine needs those weapons to defend the lives of the Ukrainian people. What do you have to say about that?
We want no one else should die. Not a single person should die.
What?
Anyway,
Not a single person. How are you going to do that?
by stopping the war.
How?
By asking both sides to call for a ceasefire.
That happened already, many times in the past. Russia's broken their agreements. What's next?
No.
Oh no, they didn't break their agreements.
When did we?
Do you want me to exemplify by a few agreements that the Russians have broken?
No.
I can give you at least a few.
Did the Ukrainians stop the war as well?
Did what?
Because the Ukrainians agreed to the ceasefire.
Ukraine has made agreements with Russia, peace agreements. Russia's broken those agreements. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
No.
You don't agree with that? You don't agree that Russia's broken their agreements?
If you want to keep talking, not let
Do you
me talk.
agree with that or not?
Do you want me to speak?
No. I just want to see if we're on the same page.
See, you don't let me speak.
Do you accept reality that Russia's broken the peace agreements?
You are not letting me speak. If you want me to start a conversation,
Go on,
you have
go on,
to.
go on. I'm
You
listening.
say something, then I say something, then you say something.
I'm listening.
That's how it can
I'm listening.
go.
I'm listening. Go on.
In the very beginning, Zelensky was saying he wants to talk to Putin, right?
He will do what?
He wants to have a discussion with the Putin.
Yes, he did. Putin refused.
Putin did not.
Putin refused.
It was a bloody Boris Johnson.
It was what?
Boris Johnson
Oh, it was
told.
Boris Johnson, right? Boris Johnson speaks for Putin now.
He told Zelensky to stop talking nonsense. He should not be talking.
Oh, look who's here. Andy, you're with your apologists again.
Pablo very well. He's
Anyway, go on. I can see where this is going. I can already smell the
It was
nonsense.
the British who told Zelensky to shut up.
Right.
They are the ones who caused the war.
I'm quite
It
curious
was this
about why
trust
it's
who went to.
Was it also the British who invaded Ukraine?
No, the Russians. That's what-
The Russians invaded Ukraine. Okay, so Russia started the war, not the British. So do you retract that? You just said the British started the war. Do you retract that?
The British.
You don't retract. You retract. You were not going to take it
The
back.
British did not want the peace.
No, hold on. Who started the war?
No, I'm thinking about the
The war was started by the Russians.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The war was started by the Russians. That's a good first
There
step.
was a good chance of a discussion, agreement.
There were discussions, there were agreements. Ever since 2014 when this war started.
The British told to Zelensky to shut up.
Did they?
The British did not want the peace. They're selling their weapons, and they wanted to disorder
Selling their weapons. The British were selling their weapons.
or manufacturers. They're giving the weapons to them, but they still arms manufacturers who are making
Hold on. You know
billions.
that the British are bound to give their weapons to Ukraine now because of the Budapest Memorandum, because the British have pledged to help Ukraine maintain the sovereignty over their borders. And Russia has violated those borders. Do you agree with that?
But who is making
No,
the
do you
money?
agree with that? Do you agree that Russia has violated Ukrainian borders?
Do you agree that?
Do you agree that Russia has violated Ukrainian borders? Yes or no?
Second?
Russia has violated Ukrainian borders. Do you agree with that? Okay, excellent. So the British are bound to send weapons to Ukraine. We're on the same page. Why are you guys here?
Why not call for a peace? Why don't the British say?
There have been calls for peace. There have been treaties in the past. Do you want me to give you a few?
Taking the discussion
You want me?
to the side.
Not at all. We're not going to take it everywhere. We're going to keep it right here, smack in the middle of your protest. Smack in the middle of your protest. Yeah, that's all. That's right. Now, I can give you a list of the different agreements that Russia has violated. The main one is the Budapest Memorandum, when Ukraine has given up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in human history. Another one was the friendship agreement between Ukraine and Russia, another agreement in which Russia has promised to not attack Ukraine. Another agreement, the two Minsk agreements, which both were violated by Russia. Excuse me? Okay, but do you accept those agreements that I just mentioned? You accept that Russia violated them? Did Russia violate those agreements? Did they violate those agreements or no?
There was a chance or a good chance of peace, and the British and the NATO gave to sort that chance.
My friend, if you tell me something, I will say I agree or I disagree. I'm not going to avoid the question forever. You're avoiding the question right now. Did the Russians violate those agreements?
Quite possible.
Huh?
Quite possible.
Quite possible. Are you serious?
Are
you serious?
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go on, no problem. You can ask whatever
Okay,
question.
what is your solution?
My solution, excellent question. I love that question. To give Ukraine the weapons Ukraine needs to win this war. To finally beat back the Russian military and not allow them to invade Ukraine anymore.
How many more people will die?
How many more people will die? How many more people have already died up until this point? Because of these appeasement tactics that you are perpetrating right now. You are perpetrating the same appeasement tactics that were done in World War II by some apologists who were saying, no, we don't want war with Hitler. We're just going to give Hitler whatever he needs. That's what you're doing right now. Now I have to ask you, are you not ashamed of yourself? No, are you not ashamed of yourself? You're preventing the Ukrainian people from getting the weapons they need to defend themselves, to defend their lives.
We want peace.
That's what you're doing.
We want peace.
You think the Ukrainian people wanted war?
want
No, hold on. Do you think the Ukrainians wanted
Looks
war?
like
This is not aggressive. That's a buzzword. That is not. You're telling
Looks
the
like-
victim
Are
to
you
move
serious
away.
right now?
Really?
You think the Ukraine? Okay, this individual has just said the Ukrainian people wanted war.
No,
Oh no, that's not. You retracted.
you just told me you want a war.
I never told you that. What do you mean?
You said you want more weapons.
Yes, so that Ukraine can defend itself against an attack that Russia has started.
Isn't it a war?
That's the self-defense.
war.
It's a self-defense.
Whatever, it's a war. It's a continuous war.
So hold on a second.
It can escalate.
Hold on. The peace, I think you're confused with the meaning of peace. Peace is not when you exterminate a whole nation. Peace is when hands are shaken and treaties are made, treaties that are kept, mind you, not broken like Russia's broken theirs. It's not when you exterminate the whole nation. That's not peace. That's extermination.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Do you agree all the wars in the past have only ended through negotiations?
Of course not. Are you serious? World War II has ended with the defeat of Nazi Germany, with the unequivocal defeat of the German army. You can't be serious with this. In the end, after the Nazis were beaten, after they were beaten, keep this in mind, there were negotiations with whoever was left in charge. After they were beaten. Keep that in your mind and never forget about that. When Russia is beaten, we will negotiate. Simple as that.
But Russia will never be beaten. That's the
Or Russia will never be beaten. Okay, Russia wasn't beaten in World War One.
They got nuclear weapons.
They got nuclear weapons. Okay, no problem. America lost the war in Vietnam. America had nuclear weapons. What's your point?
Yeah, but that was not the situation.
No, that was a different
America
situation.
was not
Okay,
directly under threat.
America was not directly under threat, but Vietnam was under threat.
Yeah, Vietnam was not part of America.
Huh?
Vietnam was not part of America. It was not connected.
And Ukraine is not part of Russia.
No. Russia,
Oh, you think Ukraine is part of Russia?
what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, I think you're wobbling about with words here, and you're struggling to make an apologist point. So go on.
The reason Americans did not use nuclear weapons, that America itself was not under threat.
And Russia is under threat. By whom? By Ukraine.
The way you're carrying on, the way you want to have more and more weapons, Russia will use nuclear weapons to
So wait a
defend
second. You
itself.
think Ukraine was threatening Russia?
If the war does not stop, right?
Was Ukraine threatening Russia?
No, what I'm saying.
Was Ukraine threatening Russia?
It is not threatening.
It was not. Excellent. So what's your point?
Now, if the war does not stop, if it escalates, then Russia will use nuclear weapons.
Will they? You sure of that? You certain? Who will they attack?
It's a natural progression.
Who will they attack?
They'll attack
They will attack Ukraine. Okay.
They'll attack other NATO countries.
And the solution to that problem is to give Russia whatever they want. So what's the solution?
The solution to have a negotiated peace.
We've already had that. I gave you a few examples. You weren't paying attention.
I know, but it has to.
Oh, you know. You don't seem to know.
It has to continue. Only way you can end the war is through negotiation.
We've already covered that. Ukraine has negotiated. That has failed because Russia's broken every agreement they've made.
Every time that they want to negotiate, the NATO told them to stop negotiating.
NATO didn't say anything. NATO is refusing to let Ukraine in, which is very unfortunate because if Ukraine was in with Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, this war would have never happened. And this is why what you guys are doing here is really, really disgusting. And it's really disrespectful to all the Ukrainian people. You stand here, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here with a serious face telling us you're against war. When you're standing here, preventing the Ukrainian people from getting the weapons they need to defend themselves. Let's call a spade a spade. Hold on, let's call a spade a spade. You guys are doing something despicable here. You guys are preventing the Ukrainian people from getting what they need to defend themselves. Ukraine did not start this war. Yeah, of course, there's the side of the aggressor and there's the side of the victim. And you are siding with the side of the aggressor.
Yes, helping to delay the war. That's what Putin
These individuals
I'm
are trying to make sure Ukraine doesn't get what they need to finally end this war. You guys are continuing this war. You guys are giving hope to Putin. The end of the war look like with a reformed Russia and with Ukraine with their pre-2014 borders. That's what it looks like. Excuse me? Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? I'm confused. What makes you think that? What makes you think that? I want all Ukrainians to be killed. You're the one. You're the one who's preaching to remove from the Ukrainians the only means of defense they have. Do you have any idea how many rockets Russia throws at Kyiv every single time they decide to attack? Oh yeah, try to stop a rocket with peace talks. Try to shout at a rocket and stop it from falling in you. Disgusting. Despicable. Every single one of you. Disgusting individuals. Absolutely disgusting.
Well, that's the end of that.
Yeah. Walk away, Andy. Walk away. Go back to Speaker's Corner. You can waffle all day and night there and get away with it and get fully away with
you
it.
any time, but when you call people disgusting,
You are disgusting. You are disgusting.
No, I don't.
Hold on a second.
Don't make it personal.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You are here standing against the Ukrainian people. You are here standing against Ukrainian people to get the means of defense that they need.
We are for
Do you
peace.
guys have any idea how many lives the air defense systems have saved? Do you have any idea of that? Any idea how many lives the Patriot systems have saved by knocking down the Russian rockets? Of course you don't. Don't take this. These individuals are snake oil salesmen and trying to confuse you with their rhetoric. These individuals stand against the Ukrainian people. Absolutely ridiculous. What's your point? What's your point for being here? That already happened. Russia's broken the agreements in the past. Thank you very much. Why are you guys here? Absolutely. Get out of here. Guys, back up and get out of here. You guys are doing something despicable. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should really be ashamed of yourself. I'm saying you can have free speech, but I haven't heard a single reason why you should be standing here. Hold on. If a bunch of people with swastikas open a little stand over here and say, we want to kill all the Jews, do you think people should approach them and tell them you should leave? Or should they just allow them to do whatever they want? This is ridiculous. You are here standing on the same side as genocide. You are indirectly perpetrating that genocide by preventing the Ukrainian people from getting the weapons they need to defend themselves. Yeah, put it on the floor where it belongs. Stop the war. You stop the war by helping the victim, not by helping the oppressor. You guys are helping the oppressor. You guys are siding with the attacker, with the actual country who started this war. Who are you calling Putin loves you? Putin loves you. Anyway, you guys are the only reason why this war is still ongoing, because Putin giving you any clue. He looks at your naive nothing but lies, and he sees stupidity, and he sees you guys are going to continue to perpetrate his ideas here in the West. Because you are standing in the way of peace. You are standing in the way of the Ukrainian people to finally have peace in their country. You are standing here for war. You are standing here with Russia. Might as well just pull out the Russian flag.
Can you read English?
Read the sign.
Read the sign. I mean, the National Socialist Party was called National Socialist Party. Were they actually just socialists? Were they the Labour Party? Were they some kind of a socialist party we have now? This is ridiculous. The People's Republic of China, is it a republic? No! Everybody knows it's not a republic. The Russian Federation. Is it really a federation? No, it's a great kleptocracy. It's a countryside criminal syndicate. You guys are showing here with your silly words, and you act like you have the truth in your hands.
Russia is an imperialist power.
Russia is what?
An imperialist power.
Excellent. How do you stop an imperialist power?
Just like US is an imperialist power.
Oh, okay, here we go. What about
NATO
this?
is an imperialist.
Oh, NATO is an imperialist power.
not
Excellent.
imperialist. They want to take over the whole world. Russia wants to take over that area. The US wants to take over the whole
You know what's the
world.
difference between NATO and Russia? When a country joins NATO, it's out of their own volition. When a country joins Russia, it's because Russia bullies them to join them. You're following my drift here.
But you know,
But what?
When
You disagree with this assessment?
when they
Of course you're not going to face it. You're just going to change subjects again.
okay.
Go on, change subjects. Go on. No, I mean, or walk away. All of you guys should just back up and walk away. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you are.
I am
Projection.
Why am I ridiculous?
I like you just being so
I am ridiculous because I'm just being so ridiculous. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You must have been very popular in the kindergarten, I have to say. Now, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. How do you plan on stopping this war?
Don't engage.
Oh, don't engage, just ignore them. Thought you guys wanted freedom of speech. Thought you guys wanted freedom of speech.
Yeah, just not for
Oh,
Ukraine.
it's Tony Blair. Oh yeah, freedom of speech for everyone except for the Ukrainians. Have you never considered why there's no Ukrainians in your group? Why no Ukrainians ever side with you? Oh, that's not even true. Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. Thank you so much for helping Putin genocide the Ukrainian people. Thank you so much. You're such a lovely lady. Like what?
Don't be like that.
Why are you swearing now?
Now you're the one being aggressive.
Like what?
Aggressive.
Like aggressive what? Hold on a second. Did I throw some kind of a threat at your Look at your body language. Nothing.
That you're being
Nothing is
aggressive?
wrong with mine.
I want to talk about Tony Blair.
This is what they always do. They start shouting aggression. No, our freedom of speech is being violated. My friends, you know that in Russia, if you criticize the government, you go to jail. You realize that, and you're siding with those people here.
I'm talking about Tony Blair.
Tony Benn had nothing to do with it.
I
Died many years ago.
would like to
He was a
have
good guy, but he's dead now. Why are you talking about it? We're talking about stop the war.
Well, you can
How can you
talk about,
stop
you're
the
talking
war?
about another narrative, so I don't know
What narrative?
You haven't told me how you're going to stop.
We're talking about peace in Ukraine.
How are we going to have peace?
You know, it's funny that you have those little nukes, in the Stop the War coalition. It's funny because Ukraine was the country that has given up the most to achieve peace. And now you guys are here with a straight face saying you're defending peace by opposing what Ukraine needs. It's very funny, it's very ironic. It's very ironic.
So Ukraine needs nuclear weapons, doesn't it?
Ukraine had nuclear weapons, the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world, and Ukraine gave it all up so that you clowns could come here and start talking against Ukraine and start defending Russia.
We are against all
Ridiculous.
nuclear weapons.
Or you're against all nuclear weapons. Why not start with Russia, with the country that's actually making nuclear threats?
Yeah, we want them to stop. We want them to scrap it.
And what are you doing to achieve that?
For the last 50 years, ever since they started building nuclear weapons, we've been against them,
Against who? Against Russia?
against all the nuclear weapons.
Oh, against all the nuclear weapons, of course. Don't you think you should start with the countries who are making direct threats? And then go to the other countries? The dangerous countries, the unhinged countries?
No, as I told you before, we want
Oh
to
no,
stop
not the unhinged countries. How are we going to stop the war?
appealing to both sides.
That has happened, I already told you. And that has failed.
Yeah, so that's our aim, to appeal to both sides, because on the mediacy side, negotiate the peace.
And what does Ukraine have to give to Russia to achieve this peace?
They'll come to the negotiations.
What does Ukraine have to give to Russia?
It will come to the negotiations.
You can't answer this question. Well, why is it so difficult for you? What does Ukraine have to give to Russia to achieve this peace? Ukraine already gave their nukes.
I can't speak for Ukraine.
Oh, you can't speak for Ukraine. Then
Then
why
why
are you
is
here?
this exist?
Exactly. Why are you guys here? You're speaking for Ukraine. You're speaking against Ukraine.
We are appealing to both sides.
You're speaking against Ukraine right now. Oh, look, wage is not war, as if it has something to do with that. No. Keep your propaganda to yourself. Keep your Russophile propaganda to yourself, guys. I don't need it.
That's not related to Ukraine.
Yes, but
Why are you keeping it here? This is an supposedly anti-war protest.
Ukraine is defeated, the problems of poverty in Britain will be solved.
Of course,
Just like
of course. All the homeless will stop being homeless. Just, give the shells. Instead of giving Ukraine shells, give the homeless the shells. Give them.
no,
That's going to solve homelessness,
and
right?
giving up the
You guys aren't thinking right.
giving up the nuclear weapons was one way for Ukraine.
Hold on. Heroям слава! Thank you very much. I mean, the ratio of Ukrainians, I'm sure you can see this. The ratio of Ukrainians is very uneven here. There's a lot of Ukrainians on our side. There's no
I have
Ukrainians on your
debated
side.
with you. You stand on the side.
Why?
I have
Why are you bossing me around?
I have debated with you.
Why are you bossing me
Because
around?
No, you stand on the side, please. You stand in front of me.
So what?
Stand on the side. Now
No,
you
не
think
так
that
близько,
I'm
не так
gonna
близько,
say-
не так близько.
No, stand on the side. We have the right to our opinions. So you have the right to our
He
opinions.
also,
say
he
your
has the right to challenge you.
But I was debating with this lady for a while.
Right.
Last time in the last demonstration.
All right, let's debate. I'll debate you too. I just debated with this individual. I found his arguments very lacking. Let's see how yours.
I debated with this gentleman in the last demonstration for half an hour. I just spent 20 minutes.
Half an hour? It wasn't that
20
long.
minutes. You weren't talking to me. You kept antagonizing me.
What do you mean?
Last time.
What are
Last
you
time,
talking about?
when?
I actually debated you. It's on video. What are you talking about? I mean, I didn't debate you for that long, but for a short while we did. I mean, look, we want what's best for you. If you lost your voice, go home and have a nice chamomile tea. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you a lot.
You got shares in the company?
Sorry?
You got shares in their company, have you?
I got what? Shares? Yes, I'm a CIA agent, guys. No, another one.
Obviously.
I have an American
you're
accent.
selling-
Howdy, partner.
You're selling tea.
I'm selling tea. Oh, selling tea. I got it now because I told her to drink some chamomile. I know, right?
So I thought you might have a share in the
Guys, I just don't get it. I just don't understand how you can make this right in your own heads. How you can come here and seriously say, okay, look, two men are fighting. The one who started this fight is attacking the other. The one who's getting attacked is getting help now to kind of separate the other guy from him. And you guys are saying, no, leave them be, let the aggressor beat him up. What? You need to side with the victim, not with the aggressor. You're siding with Putin. This is what Putin wants. Watch some of Putin's James Bond monologues.
invaded
You
Russia.
haven't.
Ukraine invaded
Oh yeah,
Russia.
Ukraine invaded Russia. I've heard this song and dance before. We've all heard this song and dance before.
Invaded Russia.
And these little silly protests are popping up around London today like pimples. It's ridiculous.
Russia invaded
Oh, and
Ukraine.
this individual asked me why I'm here. He asked me if I don't have anything better to do. That's very
Russian
funny.
troops out. Is the
Russian
first
troops
thing.
out. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it?
NATO needs to pull back a little.
Sorry?
NATO needs to stop antagonizing.
NATO did nothing to Russia. Hold on, what did NATO do to Russia? What did NATO do to Russia? Hold on, what did NATO do to Russia? You know there were conversations of Russia joining NATO. Why? Why are you bossing me around like this?
What exactly do you think is going to happen?
Look, guys, this is not going well for you. Just pack up and leave. It's gonna get a lot easier. And you're going to actually do something good for once in your life. If you just pack up and leave and go home.
stall in Moscow?
Because this is what perpetrates this.
Where's their stall in Moscow?
I know, right?
Russian troops out.
It's very sad. It's very sad to see people from the UK coming here and defending Russophile propaganda like this.
When they're lucky enough
It's
not to
very
live in
sad.
it.
pro-Russian propaganda all over the place. Putin, привіт.
People can sleep.
Я Ого, нічого собі, ось який ти вже накачався.
Я подруга собаці прийшов працювати.
Прекрасно. А це протест Stop the War, це проти того, щоб давати Україні зброю, яка нам потрібна. Ти можеш сам з ними трошки поговорити. Поговори також.
You can't do it by having a cup of tea with Putin. Putin won't have a cup of
You know,
tea with anybody.
fortunately, vast majority of this country knows better than this. People know better. People know what Russia is. People know it's a disgusting kleptocratic country. Not you guys, unfortunately. Not you guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, he's right. He is right. He is right. You guys are doing harm to Ukraine. You guys are doing harm to this country. You guys are doing harm to the free world by being here. You're being useful idiots of the Russian regime. Why?
You know, it's a democracy in this country.
How can you actually legit make this conclusion in your mind that no, we need to defend the same arguments that Putin is making? How can you actually come up with that conclusion?
Who's defending Putin's arguments?
Who's defending what? You are. You're defending Putin's argument. Putin doesn't want Ukraine to join the EU or NATO or any alliance that is not linked to Russia. That's exactly what you guys are saying. Oh yeah, stop the war, sure. Keep showing the stop the war. Again, as I said before, you know, is the People's Republic of China actually People's Republic? Or People's Republic of Russia in this case?
You do realise, like, if Russia was to come out, they'll just come back again in a few years, maybe. That this would be.
Russian troops.
They'll
How
just
are
come
you
back
going to do
again.
it? You can't answer that. Look, this is just a deviation tactic. You guys don't mean any of this. You have no idea how to achieve this. If you don't know why you say something, then that idea is hollow. I've been asking you, how are you going to do it? How are you going to... You don't have a plan. You guys are here to destabilize. You guys are here to destabilize this country and prevent it from helping Ukraine. How are you going to do it? How are you going to get Russian troops out?
Why is UK not doing it then?
Okay, you want
Not
to
doing what?
Why are they not kicking them out? If there's a good
Kicking what?
Russians out, why is UK not achieving
Who asked for kicking Russians out? What are you talking about?
Why are they not achieving it? If
Achieving
they're so
what?
good,
The UK is sending Ukraine weapons, and we come to our protests to tell the people in the UK thank you, and we tell them, please send more, please give us more weapons, please give us more means to fight back. You guys are here for the opposite. You guys are standing here. No. We know the Ukrainians are getting attacked by the Russians, but let's not arm the Ukrainians. Let's let them get exterminated.
Why does it not succeed? Why does
Not succeed because it's not enough. They should send more. It is succeeding slowly. You know, the counteroffensive is succeeding slowly, but it's very slow because we didn't get enough. We need more weapons. It will end with a reformed Russia and with Ukraine back with its pre-2014 borders. That's how it will end.
If this is
That's how it will end.
Fine. If this is a solution to the war ending, I'm agreeing with the solution. Let's go.
Pack up and go home, guys.
Let me tell you
It's
how
very
people...
easy. It's very easy for you to do your part for Ukraine.
This is one of the solutions
Guys,
we're
Okay,
suggesting.
now let me tell you
Again,
how
it's
we will
very
stop.
easy for you to do something good for Ukraine. Pack up and go home. It's as simple as
You
that.
asked me a question. Let me answer
Go
the
on.
question. How we stop?
So why? Fine.
Sorry, let me answer this question.
Yeah, last one.
Let's go.
We will follow these rules. Okay, these are basic. We want to stop the war. The way we stop it by building a mass anti-war movement in the whole world. Okay?
How are we going to stop it?
By building a mass anti-war movement.
Mass anti-war movement. How are you going to build it in Russia?
First we start here.
How are you going to build it in Russia? If Russia doesn't stop attacking, the war won't end.
There are a lot of people in Russia who are against the war.
They don't know what's going on here. Those people who are against the war are in jail or worse, getting tortured.
There are a lot of them who are...
And a lot of them are in Ukraine fighting against Russia.
There are a lot of people who are quiet at the moment.
Yeah, in jail.
Okay.
It's difficult to speak when you're in jail, right?
Once we get a massive movement here,
Oh, is it? Okay. So you're going to start with us by disarming Ukraine. And how is that going to encourage Russia to disarm? Russia attacked Ukraine when it was weak.
We want to-
If Ukraine becomes even weaker, what's stopping Russia from continuing their attack?
can you keep it quiet for me?
You're not answering anything I said.
Just educate to talk to me. So let me finish.
Go.
We'll build a massive anti-war movement.
Okay.
Right? So starting here in this country, right? In America, in other countries, in NATO countries, every country there will be big protest marches. And once we start building a movement, there will be similar movement in Russia as well.
Really?
Okay? So people who are keeping quiet at the movement.
How is this movement going to transition to Russia? Russia is isolated from the rest of the world by itself, by its own government.
Because of the movement, we don't have big enough movement outside. Once we got big enough movement outside, and people in Russia.
Sorry, that's not going to save lives.
Go on. Just finish this unrealistic and ridiculous point.
Then in Russia, people will also have the courage.
Or will they?
They need the courage. The way they will get
They need the courage, huh? Maybe they need a new government. Have you
If it were
considered
my
that?
own country, I would want them to be there helping me. Sorry. Yes, fine.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
How are we going to do it? How are we going to make the Russian people, rebel against the government? They don't know what you guys are doing. Putin knows. And Putin is laughing at you.
Once there's such a big mass movement outside, then there's no way they can ignore us.
What are you talking about? Yes, they can. They're going to be laughing at you. They're going to be looking at the West and saying, look, they're weak, they're powerless, they have no weapons. We go for them next. We attack Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania.
We don't need weapons.
Oh, you don't need weapons?
We can stop it
Jeez. How far gone are you?
because
Have you ever
otherwise,
heard the saying, arms keep peace?
if you follow your argument, there will be a nuclear war.
No, there won't.
will be.
No, there won't.
War
The only
will
thing
be.
that has stopped Russia from using nukes are threats from the West. Is the military might of the West. Because they know there will be consequences for them to use nuclear weapons. If they thought the West was weak and powerless, they would have used nukes long ago. They would have nuked Kyiv. They would have destroyed Ukraine. They would have annihilated millions of Ukrainians. Are you serious with this?
Once Russia feels under threat
Feels under threat by whom? By Ukraine?
by NATO,
By NATO. What did NATO do to Russia?
by
Exist.
supporting Ukraine,
By supporting Ukraine. What did Ukraine do to Russia?
by giving more and more weapons.
What did Ukraine
More
do to
weapons
Russia?
what? Ukraine gave weapons?
It provoked Russia by giving up its nukes.
I'm sorry, guys. This point is absolutely ridiculous. Ukraine has the right to join NATO. Ukraine has the right to join the EU. Russia has no right to say, no, Ukraine can't join NATO.
That will mean the Third World War. I don't know.
This is appeasement tactic, same as was done to Hitler. Oh, Hitler has Austria. Okay, let him have Austria. Oh, Hitler wants Danzig. And only a few days after he took Danzig, then the World War II was declared. This is appeasement tactics, guys. It always goes very badly. You can't be serious. Look, I'm sorry, but you guys are old enough to know this. You guys are wise enough to know this. Why are you guys here? Why are you guys defending these ridiculous
It might
points?
be true. So it might be true. Your arguments might be true. So let NATO.
They are true.
Yeah. So let Ukraine join NATO, and hopefully that's going to stop the war.
Yes.
If that's going to stop the war, I have no problem with this.
Excellent. So
I just
pack up and
want-
go, guys,
yeah,
and join us in the
I just
protest.
want the war to stop.
So
That's
do
all
we,
I
of
want.
course.
So if the solution, I have no problem with NATO being going to Ukraine.
Why?
I don't have problem with that.
Oh, you don't have a problem,
I just
okay.
want the war to stop.
Okay, excellent. So why are you guys here, though?
So why are they not doing it? Why have they not stopped it then?
Who, NATO?
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of Russia using nuclear weapons.
So what's the solution?
NATO has already been very explicit, and US has also.
Yeah.
If Russia uses nuclear weapons, if Russia blows up the Zaporizhia power plant, there will be direct consequences. NATO will interfere. That's why Russia is not using
Direct
them.
Yeah,
consequence for
there will
whom?
be disaster. There will be disaster.
But what's the problem with NATO sending more weapons to Ukraine?
Yeah, the problem is that NATO are not pure. NATO are behind Palestine, Israel, the backing
What are you
Israel.
talking about? Israel-Palestine is a different
No,
situation.
Israel, UK, US is backing Israel. So they're not pure. They're not pure. They have their
What
own
do you mean,
agenda.
pure?
They have their own agenda. And it's
What
very
does
likely-
Israel have to do with this? This is whataboutism. This is pure and unadulterated
US
whataboutism.
and UK
Fault as usual.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, okay, let's talk about something everything bad US did in the past instead of facing what's happening in Ukraine. This is ridiculous.
I don't have a problem NATO going into
The US has had plenty of beneficial interventions,
Listen,
like in World
I
War
don't have a
II,
problem.
in Japan, in Germany, in many different countries.
I don't have a
In
problem.
Kuwait,
Can I speak?
The first war of Iraq, US was in the right, they were defending Kuwait, absolutely, you can't debunk that. The Iraqis have invaded Kuwait, the Iraqis have invaded, what's the name, Iran, they invaded Saudi Arabia. And you guys are using the Iraqis like with a straight face, oh, you know, Iraqis, poor Iraqis, they didn't do anything to anyone. Saddam was a madman. And you guys are defending Putin the same way. You know that Saddam blew up all of the oil depots when he retreated from Kuwait. It is pointless. Pack up and go home, guys.
Yeah, so that should stop too. Yeah, I'm not going to do. I'm not disputing it. I'm not
Я буду там, потім на протест, а потім назад.
Easy trade. You know what I mean? Have a look.
Yes.
Oh, hiya. How are you?
Sorry,
Ці люди, вони тут проти того, щоб давати Україні зброю. Вони не хочуть давати Україні
sorry.
зброю. А ми з ними говоримо, їм кажемо, слухайте люди, ви що здуріли чи що? Українці захищаються. Потрібно захищатись проти нападу Росії, так? Якщо у нас немає зброї, то нас всіх б'ють.
Nie, bo ja myślałem, że jakieś dźwięki tu
They
trzeba
have some
dawać.
good arguments. They have
Nie. Tylko
both sides have good arguments.
No to nie.
And anyway, we should decide.
Тут дурне, це дурні люди прийшли сюди та і всяку дурню мають.
Not for extra work.
No bo ja akurat popieram Ukrainę.
Yeah, but I'm not the manager.
Yeah. You were delivering a letter to the Prime Minister. That sounds like a very
Yeah,
important
that's
thing
the
to
man
do.
that's paid. People have paid.
So what happened? What happened?
Email them.
What did the Prime Minister say?
Email them. I don't know. Email them.
Oh, you don't know. What did the Prime Minister say to your letter?
Richard might know.
Who's your manager? Sorry, you've got a manager here.
The people who have paid jobs.
Your manager.
It's not my manager.
You said my manager.
Can I speak?
They pay them.
I said I told you.
They pay them.
I told you.
They pay them. You pay people.
People who have paid
I
jobs.
understand.
Email them. Email them.
Paid,
People
yeah.
who have paid. People who have paid jobs. They are the managers.
Where you're coming from, let's see.
They have people here who have paid.
Guys, look, if you want to help, just do nothing. Seriously, just stay home and do nothing.
Yeah.
Because this is not healthy. This is really bad.
Fair, but NATO, I agree with you. Iraq did all these things, Russia does all these things, but America also does many bad things.
No problem. America has done bad things, but America has done nothing to Ukraine. You know, Russia has invaded Ukraine. Russia has escalated this war. This war will only end when Russia stops attacking, not when NATO stops arming Ukraine or whatever.
I hope so.
So you know, guys, I'm sure you mean well, but this is not well.
I don't disagree with you. I think we want the same thing. We want the war to stop. It's just how we want to go about it. I mean, US went into Iraq because they were doing terrible things. Okay, fair. I didn't know all these things they did in Iraq. But so they should go, stop the war, leave some troops behind for security, and leave. But US army has also killed civilians in these places. They didn't only kill the bad guys. They also kill good guys.
But again, we go back to the same point. What does this have to do with Ukraine though? What do the Ukrainians have to do with what the US has done in the past?
Because US most likely NATO is going to want to take advantage of Ukraine afterwards.
How?
Financially.
How?
Financially, what they did to
How
Greece.
financially? They've already pledged financial help to rebuild Ukraine. Is that taking advantage?
What they do, they will ask the money back and then they will start cutting wages from Ukrainians. That's what they did in Greece. That's what
I
they
mean,
did
look,
in Greece.
you know that the US have leased money to the Europeans to rebuild after World War II. The Europeans did not say, oh no, the Americans, they want to control us. No, they accepted, they said thank you, they rebuilt, and then they started giving back some of the money. Not even all of it. You know, the land lease was not all given back. Only the weapons that were still ready for use had to be given back. You know, the money had to be given back. You know what I mean? That's what the land lease was.
What they did to Greece after the Second World War, they split the Europe in two. So Greece went to capitalists and East Europe went to communists. Now what they did to Greece, they helped Greece. They helped maintaining security, but they start
Arm Ukraine, that's right.
I'm in the middle.
Okay, Tommy, I think I know the one. Let's go. Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine! Protect peace!
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 Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
That's how we're gonna end the war, by stopping
Yeah, I
Russia.
don't have a problem with that. If that's going to stop the war, let them do it. But as long as that
You're
doesn't,
here putting sticks in the wheels.
we are want Russians to out.
This is not the solution.
We're not backing Russia. We're not backing Russia.
Putin has been demanding Ukraine never joins NATO, never joins EU. That's exactly what you guys are saying here.
It's bombing.
You're preaching isolation of Ukraine from the rest of the world.
I don't have a problem with NATO. I don't have a
No
problem.
NATO expansion.
Yeah.
Look, this is what Putin wants. Putin doesn't want
NATO
NATO.
is not going.
Ukraine wants to be part of
NATO
NATO.
is not
I'm very angry. I'm very angry with you.
NATO is expanding.
Russia could have joined NATO if they really wanted, but they didn't want to because they have a kleptocratic government. You know what I mean? There was discussions to make Russia join NATO.
So security from who? Who are they trying to secure themselves?
For us, for the Ukrainians, from Russia.
All the Europe that joined NATO.
From Russia.
From Russia.
Yes. You know that Russia has invaded other countries besides Ukraine, right?
Yeah, Russia, yeah. Russia.
You know, Moldova,
But Russia-
Georgia, Belarus, Kazakhstan.
Russia.
Yeah.
During, yeah, but that's after NATO
I spent
started
20 years campaigning for the NHS. I worked
We need to look chronologically.
About before and after.
Before and after.
Russia was invading, you know, Soviet Union was invading other countries before NATO even existed.
Before NATO existed.
The Soviet Union was doing that.
But that is not.
No, I didn't come. He didn't come to Russia. He kills our people. He kills children. Do you have a children? Do you have children? Do you have children?
When Russia
You
invaded
know,
Russia,
and you're supporting the
was
war.
already existing.
You are
NATO was
supporting
already
the war. You are telling me, yes, you are supporting the war. You are telling me.
to oppose the Soviet Union. Atlantic defense.
Yeah. In the North, yeah. And during the Cold War. Yeah. You might be right.
Don't worry about it. You know, I'm sure these guys don't mean anything bad, but you know, they say they preach peace, but these ideas, they're hollow. Guys, these ideas, they're hollow. You can't defend these ideas.
They don't talk to Ukrainians. that's
Guys,
free.
seriously.
They can't talk to you. They don't talk. They don't have any Ukrainians in their group.
Guys, have you not thought it's
No, that
weird
is true.
how you don't have any
No,
Ukrainians
that is
here?
true. No,
I mean, at least you're being honest. I respect that. You know, I do respect that. I really do. I'm not
That
not
is true.
feeling anyone's
Ukrainians' right to decide what should happen in their sovereign country. Not
Yes,
for you to tell them what to
it
do.
is, but,
not for you to tell them not to accept arms from abroad.
That's
Yeah,
true. That's
we
true.
want Russian
They
troops
are-
out.
Ukrainian have got their own.
We wanted Russian troops to never be in the first place.
I just want the war to stop. If it means that from
by the way.
Greece. Yeah, they would be the whole. Yeah.
Greece has got a rich history of fascism and.
I mean,
Fascism.
it's not about that. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's a
more.
terrible history.
I think the issue with Greece is that
army used to
Putin
lock
has made a
people
lot of
up.
promises to Greece,
Theater up.
and he's destabilized the Greek government to a great extent.
Destabilized.
Yes.
Or stabilized. Yeah, I don't know, but you just go on YouTube and type anti-NATO demonstrations Europe. You're gonna come up with it.
There's very few actually.
They're not few, they're many. They're many.
In which countries? Depends on the country.
All of them, just go to
Not
YouTube.
really, no.
There are.
Not
in
quite.
Greece, they've been from the 70s.
Oh, I'm sure they all are in Greece because Greece is in Putin's pocket. You know,
think
Putin
so?
has been manipulating Greece. Grexit was something influenced by Putin.
Who?
Grexit. You know, when they tried to get out of European Union, you don't remember Brexit?
Might be.
You know,
I'm not
with
disputing
Varoufakis.
that. I'm not disputing that.
Yanis Varoufakis, you know him, right? Yanis Varoufakis.
So
okay.
he's with Russians.
I mean, he's on the payroll by
You
them.
might be right.
But look, the point is not even about Greece or Europe or whatever. The point is, Russia invaded Ukraine because Russia did not want to let Ukraine make their choice.
But why only Ukraine and not?
Because Ukraine was not part of NATO. I can't believe you're asking this. Russia had invaded Georgia before they invaded
Yeah.
Ukraine. They had invaded
they lost.
Belarus and... No, they didn't. They won.
They won.
Of course they won. Are you serious? They have a Russian-controlled government in Georgia now.
Pardon? They won.
Yes, of course. They still have troops in Abkhazia and South Ossetia.
So why did NATO not protect them then?
Because Georgia was not part of NATO.
Are you sure NATO has been Georgia has been NATO has been negotiating?
Georgia was not in NATO. Georgia wanted to be in
So
NATO.
they went to NATO after.
They didn't go to NATO. Russia didn't let them go to NATO because Russia invaded them.
But they are in NATO now, no?
No, they wanted to be. Russia didn't allow them. Russia won because they didn't let Georgia go to NATO. You know
So
what
they
I
have
mean?
troops inside and
They
they're taking
have,
advantage of the
yes.
country.
They also have troops in Moldova. They also have troops in Belarus and Kazakhstan. Russian troops.
Russian troops.
Yes.
But did they go there before? And this is very important. Before or after NATO, because NATO has the same fate. So NATO will go there and bomb Europe.
Lady, I already told you NATO originated during the Soviet
Did
Union.
the Soviet Union? Yeah.
Then after the Soviet Union
So before
collapsed,
and after.
Russia began existing as a Russian Federation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How could it be before NATO if NATO started before the Russian Federation started existing? You see how silly this question is.
Yeah. So say that again.
Okay, no worries. Look, NATO originated to oppose the Soviet Union, defend the countries of Europe against the Soviet expansion, right? Okay. After that, the Soviet Union collapsed because it was a bad place to live and people didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it collapsed and NATO expanded to some more of the countries that previously were in the sphere of influence of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Because those
Yeah.
countries wanted to be with NATO, they wanted to be with the EU.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be with Russia
Yeah.
because Russia was a very disrespectful partner.
Yeah.
They would use and abuse them. Now after that, Georgia and Ukraine asked, you know, it wasn't even a proper conversation. It was just a discussion. What if we join the EU? What if we join NATO? It was nothing clear.
Yeah.
It was not clear at all. And Russia didn't like this. They started threatening the governments. First, they invaded Georgia in 2008, my bad. 2014 was the Ukrainian war, yes. 2008, they invaded Georgia and nothing was done. 2014, they invaded Ukraine and nothing was done. After that, there were also some protests in the capital of Belarus and Kazakhstan. The Russians sent their troops and put down those protests with Russian troops in the capitals of foreign countries. So you see a theme going on here. If a country is not part of NATO, Russia attacks them. You see what I mean?
No, that's wrong.
This is
They shouldn't be doing that.
Sorry? They should not. Yeah, they should not.
So fine, let them enter NATO. I don't have a problem with it if it's going to stop the war.
Now my question to you is, how do you stop a violent cycle from happening? You need to fight back, you need to defend yourself.
Fine, let them enter NATO. Fine.
Excellent.
But as long as that
Give us
stops-
weapons.
Yeah, that's fine by me. As long as that stops the war.
I mean, it will eventually. Look, Russia is not weak compared to... Russia is stronger than Ukraine, right? Russia is weak compared to NATO or to the US. They're nothing compared to the US. That's why, you know, it's a fun fact. The US, with all the help it's been giving Ukraine, it's less than 5% of the annual investment in their military. Less than 5%. It's nothing. This is why we ask, help us more. Help us for Ukraine.
As long as it stops the war. As long as NATO.
This, guys, you're welcome to come to our program if you want to stop
I'm
the
on
war.
both sides. I'm on both sides.
Can't be on both sides. One side is attacking the other and trying to kill the other. Yeah.
We're not with Russia. We're not with Russia. We're not with Russia.
Look, I'm sure you don't, in your mind, you don't side with Russia.
I don't
But the
know.
arguments, look, again, look, no NATO expansion.
Yeah.
This is what Russia's been demanding. No nuclear war. Russia's been threatening nuclear war
But
for a long time. You should be against Russia. Russian troops out. But I've been asking all of you guys, how are you going to get the Russian troops out? You have no idea. There's no one with a clear idea of how to get those troops out.
You say negotiate and peace talks.
No, we already did that. Russia has broken those negotiations. They violated those agreements.
So what were the agreements? What were the agreements?
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you some of the agreements. One of the main ones was the Budapest Memorandum. And this is why I stole it. You see this little thingy, this little nuke here, and with a forbidden sign. I found it very ironic because Ukraine was the country that has given up the most to achieve world peace. They've given up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world.
Oh, they give it up.
Yeah, they gave it to Russia. They gave it up in exchange of what? In exchange of non-aggression. Yes,
Oh, really?
of
When?
non-aggression. It was, I believe, it was in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think it was in 1994.
That is really good.
And that wasn't the only one. There was another one, the friendship agreement between Ukraine and Russia. I think that was in 1997, I believe. And then after that, Russia invaded Ukraine. And after that, there was the Minsk agreements, two of them. Russia violated both of them. And after that, Ukraine, in the beginning of this latest escalation, you know, Zelensky has asked to meet Putin. Putin refused every single time because he felt like he was winning. He felt like he could have Ukraine in a week or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Russia is not trustworthy. We can't trust
No,
those
they're not
people.
trustworthy. Fair. Fine, put NATO, put Ukraine into NATO, fine. As long as it stops the war. But we are against all the wars. So we are
Never wanted war. Ukraine demilitarized. Ukraine didn't have any nuclear weapons. Third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. They gave it away. They gave it away. Like, there you go, have it.
They gave it to Russia.
Yes. Look, I swear to you, you can look it up yourself. You can open Google right now. Any website. Put Budapest Memorandum. You'll find all of this information. It's going to shock you. It's really shocking
That's
what
bad.
happened.
That's
I'm
bad.
telling you.
So they don't belong. So they belong to Russia. They belong to Russia.
I mean, look, those
They belong to
nukes,
Russia.
a lot of them
So
were
you
made
see-
in Ukraine. They were in
Yeah,
Ukraine.
yeah.
So what right does Russia have of
Yeah,
taking them?
yeah.
Did Russia just drag every single vehicle, every single piece of equipment back to itself of the Soviet Union? It's unfair. They were Ukrainian nukes. Ukraine gave them up in exchange of a promise. I mean, their sovereignty was achieved before.
Yeah, it was
But
relative.
as an assurance of sorts, yes.
That's bad. That's bad.
So, you know, again, if you guys, look, if you want to come to our protest, that's fine. But this is doing harm. This stuff is doing harm. Because this is claiming that we will stop the war by stopping arms shipments to Ukraine. It won't stop the war. It will never stop it. It's just going to help Russia win. I'm telling you. It's as simple as that. I mean, maybe tell some of your colleagues here, some of your friends
No,
here.
that's not here to debate. I'm not here to learn more things. I'm not here to say things I don't know. But where am I
No, I mean, I respect your honesty. You've been honest through this conversation, so I can't say anything.
But at the same time, I would like Israel to back off Palestine.
That's fair enough, but that's a different conversation.
Why? Because US is behind Israel.
No, look, you can protest against Israel if you want to. And then you'll have to converse
We're
with
against all the
Israelis.
wars.
I'm not going to defend Israel. I'm not going to attack Israel.
yeah.
I'm not going to do it, because it's different to this. This is focusing on Ukraine. Look, Russia, NATO, nuclear war. But all three of those points, indirectly or directly, mention Russia in some way.
Fair enough.
You see, war in Ukraine. What does it say about Palestine or Israel? I don't think it does.
Does not, this one does not. Other campaigns have focused on other wars.
Okay, fair enough. Look, you guys can do that if you want, but leave Ukraine out of it. You know what I mean? I don't mean you can't protest. I mean, this is harmful. This is doing harm. You see what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who your leaders are. These people maybe who brought the letter to 10 Downing Street. I would like to converse with them. I would like to speak with them, but they never show up. You remember that time that you guys showed up? You were the only one who stood behind and you spoke. That shows that you're more courageous than they are. But those guys, they fled. They ran away.
And I emailed them and I said, why did you not stop the debate? Because it was criticized. And they said, because you were shouting at me, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, look, they could make the point that, we're shouting, blah, blah, blah. But we can have a civil
Yeah,
conversation.
you can. I mean, I understand
We
your
will
anger
have a
because you have the lockdown dead. So I understand some anger.
Hey, Tony, come here, man, come here.
Have your friends died?
Huh?
Have any friends of yours died?
not my friends. I'm from Western Ukraine, so you know I have a few friends.
From Eastern Ukraine have a slightly different view than yours.
I mean, the ones that fight for Ukraine or the ones that fight for Russia?
The one that
There's been a campaign of propaganda in Eastern Ukraine for a long time.
Placed there by Russia.
You want to know something funny?
2018, Crimea was invaded and Russia sent lots of Russians into Crimea, into Ukraine.
Absolutely. But look, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something funny about that, because you're not wrong. There was anti-Ukrainian sentiment in some regions
there are
of
some
Ukraine.
regions.
Very few, but some there was.
Yeah, a few, very
But
few.
why did that happen? Because when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was a nationwide referendum done in Ukraine to see who they want to be with, Russia or Ukraine.
Yeah.
What if I told you that besides Crimea, not a single state voted less than 80% to join Ukraine? That's an overwhelming majority.
Yeah, majority
Overwhelming.
of the
Even in the
even in the-
Donbass, 80% plus, more than 80%.
You know, in Greece we have
Not even
that.
close.
You know, in Greece because we have Greek communities in Ukraine, in Eastern Ukraine. So they will have in YouTube. If you go on YouTube, but it's in Greek. So if you find a Greek person to translate them for you, there are Greek people saying from Eastern Ukraine, they're saying that the US attacked, the US wants our soil because they want the gas supply. And that's why they want
The what supply? The gas supply.
supply.
The gas supply.
Then that Putin is after the gas supply. Putin doesn't want to give up the gas supply. That the US is after the gas supply. And that's why mainly because the gas supply, because Georgia doesn't have gas supply, because Belarus, blah, blah, they don't have rich things. And because Ukraine has one of the
Ukraine has gas. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does have gas, but it's not really producing it in a large amount. It's Russia that produces vast majority.
Yeah, and it's passed from Ukraine. So we had,
passing through.
we had footage on in Greece from Greek people who live in Ukraine saying, I stand with Russia.
So hold on, what does this give to...
So it might be propaganda, but they say in Greek, I stand with Russia because the US is after the gas, because the US wants to slaughter Russian-speaking population. Is it not true that they were trying to slaughter
No.
the Russian-speaking population?
Of course
no,
not.
because she is Russian-speaking. She
Hold on a
says, no,
second.
they never had a
Vast
problem.
majority of... No, hold on a second. There's a huge amount of people in Ukraine who are fighting for Ukraine who speak Russian. Huge amount.
Yeah.
I mean, are they being prosecuted? Are they being oppressed? No. They're fighting. And it's to give those heroes the weapons they need that we are here. You know, because they're fighting, they're risking their lives. But without those weapons, they're gonna die. They're gonna get slaughtered. You know what I mean? We need to help them.
Fine, let them enter NATO. But after they join NATO, I would like them to put the hands off the economy. Because that's what it is. Because the hands of the richness. Now, my brother is a paramedic. He has 20 years of experience. And he has wages like he's a paramedic. My little brother who is a plumber. He's got 25, 30 years of experience, and if he wants to make money, to buy a car and to buy a house, he has to work 12-hour shift, 6 days a week. Okay, and the Greek people think that's because NATO's stealing the resources.
NATO's done nothing. NATO's done nothing to Russia. NATO has actually had conversations with Russia, so Russia would join NATO. And long ago, there was such a conversation.
Fair.
And Putin even said himself long ago he has nothing against NATO expansion. He switched his tune very much.
Oh, he switched because of Ukraine.
No. Look, different conversation. Putin said so in the past. You know, I think in an interview or in some kind of a meeting that he didn't have anything against NATO or against NATO expansion, blah blah blah. That you know there was no actual threat to Russia. But when he saw that there would be no reaction to him attacking Ukraine, then he attacked Ukraine. Because it was never about NATO, it was always about whether or not there would be consequence. And I felt there would be no consequence, so that's what I attacked Ukraine. You know what I mean? I mean, look, Latvia is about as close to Moscow as Ukraine. Latvia was in NATO for ages now. Did Russia attack Latvia? No, because they immediately joined NATO and Russia was like, okay, this is beyond our reach. It has nothing to do with threats. It has nothing to do with threatening Russia. It has to do with accountability.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, put me under arrest.
You can come under, don't worry about it.
I'm debating. I'm debating. They do have some arguments too, you know. I was talking with, I mean, it's pouring down. I was talking with very on kick. It was very upsetting conversation, and I kept it because it's in my photos. What is that? They do.
Can you really compare any threat that NATO poses to the Ukrainian economy to the threat Russia poses to the Ukrainian lives of the Ukrainian people?
Oh, no, they will bring security. They will bring security and human rights. That they do that. But then they steal the wealth. So this is I spoke on kick. So which one is the beginning?
I mean, what is this supposed to prove?
No, let's just. It's a social conversation. Now I'm the green. He's the white. He is in Ukraine.
Russia attacked us to show its power to Europe and America, and the rivalry between them is killing us. Rivalry between them. I mean, I do some volunteering for them. When did they attack? No, it says NATO negotiated with Ukraine in 1990, 1 year after the war. Their lack of support affected us as much as attacking us. Look, NATO's lack of support affected us as much as attacking us. I mean, he's not saying NATO attacked us. He's saying NATO should have supported us more. And that's what we stand for, more support.
So it's very sad. I kept it.
Not easy to make friends. I'm sorry, why? Everyone sleeps in a secret underground warehouse or basement. Yeah, he's right. This person is right. Yeah,
it's very sad.
It's true. I've seen this stuff.
It's very sad.
Places such as school, hospital, restaurant are open, but inside places I said we see on the news. Yeah. No, it's not as violent as it used to be, but sometimes there are surprise attacks. Yeah, of course, because Russia is now getting pushed back. So now they can't afford to attack Ukraine as much.
At the beginning he says, only Turks support us. This is very sad.
Only Turks supported us. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. There's been more help than just Turkey. Turkey has sent the Bayraktar,
But
drones.
I'm just debating. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Just debating.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. Yeah, it's boring. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Just debating.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. I'm just learning.
Just text me.
Think
I'm
I
just
will.
going to be in the pub.
Yeah. In the pub?
Yeah.
Which pub? Oh, let's come around afterwards.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to talk to them.
Yeah, she got very upset with me a while ago. She probably thinks I'm threatening you or something.
No. I'm gonna try to talk to them.
I know. I'm a scary guy. Have you seen these scars?
I'm all up for peace. I'll try to
That's fair enough. I respect that. I respect people who can at least have a conversation.
Of
Now, look,
course.
I don't agree with a lot of your points. Some of them are fine, but a lot of them, are basically impossible to implement. You see what I mean? This war can't end if Russia keeps attacking Ukraine.
Greece is very pro-Russian.
I know.
Very pro-Russian.
I know.
Very
I'm aware.
pro-Russian.
Unfortunately, very unfortunately. Because look, I have nothing against the Greek people. I think it's a great shame that they're supporting Russia like this. And why is that? It's because of a few things. First of all, it's because Putin...
we hate NATO.
Yes, that too. And the EU, there's a lot of animosity with the EU. And also because of the religion. Putin has claimed himself to be this defender of Orthodox faith while he's attacking a fellow Orthodox country. Now that's stupid.
So if not propaganda, I don't know, but we had footage in the EU, in the Greece, more that there was about slaughtering of Russian populations from Azov.
Azov. You mean the Azov
we had
hotel?
loads of footage on YouTube. Now whether it's fake videos, they might be, but we had them, and we had them in Greece. So people in Greece backed up with Russia because they think NATO are the big groups that will take advantage of Ukraine after.
I tell you what, it's very
and
easy.
it's possible they will.
It's very easy to check who's slaughtering who. Check some pictures from modern day Donetsk, Luhansk, which have been controlled by Russia for a very long time. They've been complaining forever. Oh, you've been bombing Donbass for 8 years or 9 years or whatever. And then check the cities that Russia has conquered after that war, after the war in Donbass, right? Check Mariupol.
You mean
check
after
Kherson,
after
check Bakhmut.
After 2014?
Yeah, no. I mean, look, the war started in 2014, correct?
Yeah, the civil war.
It wasn't a civil war.
It wasn't
It was not a civil war.
I mean, Russia
look,
was
Russian troops invaded Crimea. That can't be a civil war. We can't call it a civil war. If it was only in Donbass, you could make a point, but I would still say it's not a civil war. But because of the invasion of Crimea, it doesn't even smell of civil war. It's complete invasion, pure invasion. But the point is, check Donetsk, check Luhansk, look how they look. You know, they're not destroyed. I mean, there's some damage, sure, but they're not destroyed. And then look at Bakhmut, look at Mariupol, look at what the Russians have done.
So they've done that
They've annihilated those cities. After this latest escalation a year and a half ago.
They violated, of course they violated. Yeah, they violated, you mean?
I mean, look, they've destroyed a lot more.
You mean they've done more damage?
Yes.
They went over
They've been complaining a lot about the Ukrainians doing damage. And the Ukrainians were not doing anything at all.
Yeah, they weren't doing much.
This war was started by Russia in the end.
So you mean Russian-speaking population didn't have a problem in Ukraine?
No.
By Ukrainian army?
No.
So in Greece and here they say that because Russia is scared of NATO, because NATO wanted to invade Greece, NATO wanted to go to Ukraine and then throw weapons into Russia.
Into Russia?
Yeah, they wanted to continue the slaughtering of Russian-speaking populations. That's what they believe in Greece. That's why they...
What does NATO have to gain by slaughtering the Russian speakers? Exactly. Nothing.
Take the gas. Get hold of the gas.
The gas was already being pretty cheap. You know, being sold pretty cheap.
And they believe they wanted to sell it more expensively, or they wanted to block the supply, so now we buy American gas, and that's why the gas price could come up. That's what they believe in.
This is not about gas. It's unfortunate people believe in that.
Yeah, that's what
because as long as we look, I mean, did Georgia have anything to do with the gas supply? No. Georgia was invaded before Ukraine. There was no gas pipes flowing to Europe through Georgia.
They weren't.
They weren't. No,
they weren't.
Of course not. The gas flows from the Ural Mountains.
Yeah.
And then through Ukraine. You know, not through Georgia. Georgia was a warm-up for the Russians. They wanted to check if they would be able to invade Ukraine. They were already planning to invade Ukraine at that point. Yes, they got away with it in Georgia, so that's why they invaded Ukraine.
So specifically in Georgia, did NATO go after?
No, NATO did nothing.
They were already.
No, NATO did nothing.
Is not in,
Georgia is not in NATO. No, it never was. It probably won't be for years.
They won't, because it's.
Unless Russia reforms its government.
Oh, so they're not in NATO.
No.
So I thought.
Neither is Ukraine.
So why are they not joining then?
They can't. Russian troops are in Georgia. How can they join NATO with Russian troops in Georgia?
They're not allowed to join while there's conflict or war.
Oh, they're not allowed to join.
You can't
NATO doesn't allow countries with disputed borders.
That's why Russia attacked.
So NATO doesn't allow countries to join? Why are they in conflict?
Yes. Russia wanted to exploit that rule in the NATO, in the NATO rules.
How can they join now?
Now, Ukraine?
Yeah.
It can't join immediately, no.
But
unless they make an
exception.
exception.
Unless there is a peace. There has to be peace first and then join.
NATO, hold on. NATO is not saying they're going to let Ukraine now. In fact, they've been claiming the opposite. But what we want to do is to give Ukraine more weapons. It's not immediately put Ukraine in NATO. No, that would be a bit unrealistic to ask for that. But we're asking for more weapons, more armaments to help the Ukrainian army be more efficient and defend the Ukrainian lands better. And
I don't mind. If that's going to bring peace, I don't mind what happens. I just want something to happen that's going to bring peace.
Look,
that's why we need to talk.
Short term, there will be war either way. But the question is, are we going to have long-term peace or long-term war? Now, the solution of appeasing Russia is long-term war. The solution of helping Ukraine is long-term peace. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I don't mind. As long as it's fine, I don't mind.
If you know people who want to make opposite points, bring them to Speaker's Corner. I mean, I will be there this Sunday. But I won't be there for a while after that. But later on, I will be there again.
What is that?
Speaker's Corner is a place in Hyde Park where people do speeches and debates. People can debate about it. I go there.
About this specific war?
Many things, mostly about religion, unfortunately. But about other things.
Very sad. That first NATO antagonizes, and then Putin to defend doesn't put troops in the countries that NATO wants.
Think about it for a second.
That's what comes from Greece.
Think about it.
And possibly. But they have a point here. NATO is antagonistic because they're behind the war in Israel.
Think about it. If NATO antagonized Russia, why did Russia not attack NATO? Why did it attack Ukraine instead of NATO? It's like, look, you spit in my face, but I slap her instead. It's a bit silly, isn't it? It's kind of a silly idea. It's because Russia makes excuses. Look, Russia has called the Ukrainians both a Zionist shill and a Nazi state. Is that not suspicious at all? It's stupid. It's just pure stupidity.
That's what my best friend thinks. My ex-boyfriend. He says, why is Ukraine complaining? They elected a fascist government.
Yeah. Fascist.
That's what my
a Nazi Jew, of course.
That's what they say. That's what my ex-boyfriend in Greece said. They should be complaining because they
Very
elected
unfortunate.
Nazi government. Are you Ukrainian?
No, I'm British.
You're British, and I think the best people to listen to are the people who live in the countries.
Yeah.
Where are we talking from here? I mean, these people who work here, I respect them because they're against all the wars, not about this war. They're against all the wars.
Yes, but today it's focused on Ukraine.
Yeah,
This is not how we're going to stop the war in Ukraine.
Today is called today is focused on Ukraine, but I respect them because they know a lot about. They say, they're MPs from various countries, members of parliament of various countries who say if a big country, if you see in the road a big person hits tiny, you're not gonna give weapons to the tiny. You're gonna stop the big.
How are you going to stop them? I mean, in this case, the only way to stop the big one is to help the tiny fight back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you attack the big one, he might use nukes. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's the
why
only
they're
way.
not. That's why they're not intervening.
That's the only way to
see.
stop them. Is you have to
But
use
Russia knows that if they use nukes in Ukraine, and there's no direct involvement by NATO, that there will be a reaction by NATO. They will not let it pass.
They will be.
They know that. That's why they want to use nukes. Because they're afraid for their hides. They're not afraid for their people. They're afraid for their own lives. The leaders of Russia.
But no, don't get me wrong. I respect these people because they're against all the wars and they have good arguments about the wars. And they
I mean, not about the war in Ukraine. That's for sure. I've been speaking with them for a long time.
Perhaps not about this one. You've been speaking with them for a long time. Yeah, perhaps not in this one. But they want Israel to stop attacking Palestine. Who is behind Israel? And so,
Go for it. No problem. You can debate with Israel is all you want.
And US.
They can defend themselves.
Yeah, US. They have a history of being. They do have a history. They do have an all over Africa.
They've done some bad
they've done many bad things. They've done
involvements, but they've also done many good involvements.
They've done many good things.
There's no country without sin.
Pardon?
of course.
There's no country without sin. So now we think, especially
Again,
in Greece,
Russia has basically no positive involvements ever in any wars. Any war you might mention. Nothing. Nothing. You can go all over history. Every single time they do something, it results in disaster. Have you ever heard that in World War II, they actually started World War II on the same side as the Nazis? I'm not joking.
Oh no, because I have seen
Because of the
this.
Molotov-Ribbentrop Treaty, they divided Poland in half.
Yes, I have seen them.
They have started World War II on the same side. Yeah, I think. I thought it wasn't raining anymore. But
No, I have sent a photo of this to my brother in Greece.
yeah.
They said Russians have buddied with Nazis. I have seen
They had nothing against the Nazis. It was not an ideological dispute. It was a territorial dispute. They both wanted everything, so they fought each other. You see what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, of course. What do you think they were ideologically opposing each other? Both of them did exterminations in their own lands. I mean, the Nazis were more racially motivated, that's true. But the Soviets have exterminated anyone who didn't want to be part of their country.
Really?
Yeah, of course. Have you heard of the 2 Holodomors they did in Ukraine? Millions of people have died. Millions. Tell your guys about that. They're not going to know it. They claim they want to defend the Ukrainians, they want to preach peace, but they know nothing about Ukraine. And there's no Ukrainian siding with them.
They don't know many things about Ukraine.
You see.
But so what are these?
Heroyam Slava!
So why are these all anti-NATO photographs on YouTube then?
Why what?
Anti-NATO protests on YouTube, they're everywhere. Anti-NATO protests Europe.
You know which countries?
All of them.
Not all of them. I know that in Portugal there won't be many, because I'm from Portugal. I know here there are not many. I mean, I lived in Portugal for a very long time. I'm officially Portuguese. It's a bit confusing. But I'm originally from Ukraine. I'm originally from
born
Ukraine.
in Ukraine.
Yes. My parents are from Ukraine, but I lived in Portugal
So
for a
huge
very long time.
anti-NATO protests sweep Europe. NATO.
Let's see how huge they are. Let's see. Where is this? Oh, RT, of course, RT.
Why
You
are
see,
they?
RT is Russian TV. You
Or is
it's
it?
Of course, RT is Russian news. They're showing footage of RT. It's pure propaganda. That's a good start. Blood like something, something. The ads.
Well, in Greece they say
Don't
Russia
worry,
is scared.
just wait.
Yes.
It's gonna show. Now, skip that, yeah. This is Bulgaria, isn't it? I think this is Bulgaria. It's very unfortunate, but in Bulgaria there is a considerable amount of support for Russia, yes. Probably there's Bulgaria, Serbia, maybe Greece.
Yeah, Greece is anti-NATO. No, Greece had many anti-NATO protests
Yeah,
from
I
the 70s. This is not new.
I believe,
You know,
I believe.
because US started the dictatorship in Greece. Just Google who started because you had
Okay, I'm not
dictatorship.
going to debate
Just-
that.
just
I'm not
Google
sure about
it. Yeah, just Google it. It was
I'll
US
just take your
based,
word for it.
funded, and CIA and all this.
I mean, we only
who is this?
look up until now. This is Stoltenberg, the spokesperson of NATO. Jan Stoltenberg, I believe his name is.
So NATO nation battles pro-Russian uprising. Oh, I'm not sure. NATO battles
Bulgaria. Look, they say
battles
Bulgaria.
pro-Russia.
This is only Bulgaria, mind you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what this means.
And
So
it wasn't even
NATO
that big.
nation battles pro-Russia. So there is a pro-Russia
NATO nation
uprising.
battles pro-Russia uprising. NATO nation. It means that the nation of Bulgaria is battling against the pro-Russian
Yeah.
uprising.
So there is a pro-Russia uprising.
There is like a minority of people who support
So what do
Russia.
you have to oppose? Come on, this is ridiculous now.
I mean, look,
What do you have?
this is also Bulgaria. Yeah, this is the same thing.
Bulgaria too.
No, wait, this is France. But I don't think this is against Ukraine. This could be just a random protest in
This is pro-arming.
France.
Yeah, this is pro-arming.
Let's
This
see.
is for-arming protests.
Okay. From Berlin, Paris, Milan, peace in Ukraine. Ah, look, Russian flag, Soviet flag.
Oh,
you see,
really?
Russian flag and
Yeah.
Soviet flag. Did you see that? Don't miss them.
Capital cities of
I mean,
Ukraine.
it's kind of a small shot. They're only showing like 10 people at the same time, so we can't tell how big the protests
Yeah.
are, to be honest.
So there are.
They're not that
Italy.
big. There's a
Italy,
few
Milan.
countries. There's a few countries that have a lot of support for Russia, and I already named them: Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, some in
Yeah, I think
in
because we're
Hungary.
Orthodox, perhaps, who knows, because we have the same religion. as
Yeah,
well.
to an extent.
And because we hate NATO.
on,
Greece
hold on.
is with everything. Greece will go with
Yeah,
everything.
this is. But
to
look,
oppose
look.
NATO.
This is in France. Yes, this is against arming Ukraine. That's true. I just read some of the posts.
Yeah, so I think they're in Europe for both.
There are some, sure, no problem. But which countries did we see up until now? We saw Bulgaria a few times. We saw France. What else?
Berlin.
Berlin. Okay,
Berlin has quite a few Russians there.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Berlin.
We saw some in Berlin.
In Germany in general, a lot of Russians moved there when the Soviets controlled part
We're
of
doing the
Germany.
social club for a little while.
Is it far from here?
It's just on the central line. On the tube station.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second. No, look, I'm not debating the fact that there are some protests against Ukraine, but the point is, there's not that many. This isn't that much. We saw a few hundred people in
Yeah.
like talks
Okay.
in these protests.
Yeah.
That's not that much. Keep in mind that the
I
countries
think
like UK or Portugal or some other hardcore pro-NATO countries, they will never have any of this. Like I know in the UK there's never been a big protest like this. The biggest one, we've actually did a counter-protest. It was like 50 of them.
Anyway, so in Greece they say that NATO brought them. And UK reception all the time. In Greece they say NATO brought them poverty.
You know, very unfortunately, the Russian propaganda is still effective. So there's still some people who support Russia. But, you know, we're fighting against that. We will make
Yeah.
sure
Social
we do.
club's on the central line.
Yeah, we're going to make our way. Anyway, look, it was nice talking to you. What's your name?
Anthi.
Pavlov. Pavlov.
Yeah, and I'm Tommy Two Flags. The Toy
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Or
I
Three
just want
Flags.
to
Yeah, Tommy
understand.
Three Flags. I'm the
Yeah.
Toy Town top old.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'll see you
That's
later.
fine. I
Let
just
your
wanted
guys
to-
know that we
yeah.
didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, yeah.
That we didn't blackmail
First
you
time,
or
but okay.
whatever.
Thank you.
Sorry.